Welcome, Radiant Souls. Are you feeling a little bit stuck or uninspired and you're looking for something, just a short little prompt that's going to give you some creativity? Well, you're in the right spot and this video is for you. So let's begin. Like most people, we have moments where we're just not feeling super inspired, but we still have that urge to create. And I find that happens to me quite often. So today, we are going to get inspired with nature. Usually I would draw outside, but I have limited time. I decided to walk around my house and find a house plant. So this is a little pink polka dot plant that I'm going to use as inspiration today. I grabbed some watercolor pencils, a little tiny watercolor brush, and I always love a waterproof ink pen. So I'm using a Tombow, and this is a double end with the thick and thin side. One of my favorite pens. Let's just give ourselves the permission to play. Oftentimes we get so in our heads that we cannot get out of our heads, and we think ourselves into paralysis, and we don't end up drawing anything at all. So grab your cup of coffee and let's start. The first thing that we're going to do here is I have grabbed my little house plant and I'm just going to pick a spot. I'm going to pick this little spot here on the leaf. I'm going to pick my thin end. And the reason that I'm using ink and not pencil is that it takes away the outcome piece. That piece for me really can get into my head and really inhibit me from drawing. So I'm going to pick a point. And just start drawing. So it doesn't matter the size of the leaf or the drawing. I'm almost not even looking at my paper. I'm just doing the contour shape. That's the outline of the plant. Feel free to pick up the pen or pencil that you're drawing with. And this is just to get the movement going. So it might not look like anything to start. What I'm doing is just the outline, the first little bit. I like to think to myself, like, thank you for taking the time to draw today. Just making the 5 minutes to sit down with yourself. Don't worry if the leaves are too big or too small. This one has a lot of curves, so it's hard to mimic what that looks like. Notice the colors and the waves. The slower you go, the more mindful it becomes. And because this is your drawing, if there's a leaf that you're not into, feel free to leave it out. I'm not drawing the pot either. And when you get to that point where you're like, I've kind of filled up enough of this page, then you're kind of good. So my houseplant looks nothing like my drawing, and I'm okay with that. It's just to spark some creativity. Okay, so I'll show you what I have here. The next step here is to spend a little bit of time journaling. Now, the reason that I incorporate journaling is it's great for reflection and to just sit down without thinking. Really, again, coming back into your body. So for myself today, I'm going to talk about like how I'm feeling right now. So like, I feel, and then I do it like a dot, dot, dot. Now, it can be anything. There's no, the whole point of this is to not have any judgment towards ourselves. So I feel open, free, right? Non-judgmental, because that's what I'm trying to do. And if you do feel judgmental, that's also okay. Sometimes we have to recognize that judgment to move through it. To play. I feel playful and easy. This one was easy. I didn't really resist. So just leaving that there. And if there's any questions about your life that came up, you can also definitely write your questions down. And that shows that your mind is trying to answer these questions, and we have the wisdom to answer them ourselves. So the next piece here is just coloring. I love to pick 2 complementary colors. So I'm gonna do the green. I know the complementary color is red, but I'm really liking the purple. So don't worry about the color wheel if that's not your thing either. And I'm just gonna start putting some colors down. And I'm gonna do it really sloppily. I think this is the style I'm gonna go for because it's more playful. I'm not gonna worry about staying in the lines, coloring in the lines. I think a lot of the time when we color things, we get really in our heads about it has to be meticulous and quite perfect. And that can really hinder our drawing and our creative process when we put lots of rules on it. So let's just take the rules out. I think it's really beautiful when we let the rules go and we redefine how art works for us. And there's a lot of magic in when we let the rules go. I've been listening to more and more individuals talk about how they did it their way in art, business, being a parent, even at work. There's your way. You don't have to follow everybody else's way. You find one that works for you. It speaks to your soul. Being heart-led, I think, is also something that I really, really enjoy. So I finished up this piece here. So this is my finished piece. And I'm probably going to work on it a little bit more, but it provided me some space to just be in my body and just think about the colors. I didn't put any rules or restrictions on this. I painted it and colored it just however I wanted. It obviously does not look like my plant, but that's the whole point, because this art is your perception. So this was a beautiful exercise for me to just sit down and create a piece where there's no rules. And I gave myself as much time as I need, and I can always go back. I don't have to like it. It's not about the outcome. It's not about making good art. It's just about putting that pen to paper and finding a bit of creativity in our lives and making that space for yourself, even if it's only 5 minutes. And I quite like the colors on this one. And in this piece, I gave myself a lot of room to play. This art is more about who you are when you're creating, that you're making space for yourself, that you're giving yourself permission to play, that there's a lot of importance in the fact that we can enjoy our time creating art and not be worried about the outcome. It's not about what you do, it's about who you are when you're doing it. So thank you for making this time for yourself, and see you in the next one.